Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Peter here. Today's video is a first impression from the house of Jack Perfume. This company is or was created by an actor, Richard E. Grant. Picture here. If you've not, you will recognise him. So yeah, we're just going to have a quick first impression, and if you want me to do full reviews of a specific one later, leave it in the comments and I'll do that. The first one is self-entitled. It's just called Jack. On the back it says that this is his signature scent. This is what Richard E. Grant wears himself the most regularly. So the notes in this one read lime, marijuana and mandarin, with heart notes of clove, pepper and nutmeg, base notes of oud, vetiver, white musk, tobacco absolute and olibanum resin. So you get the citrusy kind of lime vibe. It's a little bit sharp. I get a little bit of the cannabis, but it's not a strong note. It doesn't smell of weed. It smells more like cannabis essential oil. It's like it's dark kind of green foliage, kind of a foresty smell. It's not particularly what you smell in the streets when someone smokes weed. This is different. This is just more herbal and green. But I think that element is actually very, very minimal. It really doesn't particularly smell of cannabis. But it has a citrusy element, slightly, ever so slightly spicy. I think the clove gives it a cooling kind of freshness, and probably also the olibanum, the frankincense. I feel like the pepper and the nutmeg all these notes seem to be quite subtle. There's nothing that jumps out at you to say, I smell this clearly, I smell that clearly. It's kind of a bit of a soup. It's actually fairly soft to me on the skin. It's not particularly like a strong fragrance. It's not a loud fragrance. It is quite subtle, even though the notes are relatively kind of strong notes. When I smell it from the dabber, it actually, maybe it's the citrus elements here, but it smells a little bit like like dishwashing soap. It kind of smells soapy, like antibacterial-y kind of cleaning product soap when I smell it from the dabber. I think that's just maybe the lime and the mandarin, because we quite often have kind of, you know, those synthetic-y, citrusy kind of smells in washing soap. On the hand I don't quite get that as much, but definitely from the dabber I do. But it's very soft, and to be honest, I'm struggling to smell it on my hand. This is definitely one you're going to have to decant and spray on rather than using the dab stick. I don't like dab sticks anyway, they're always not very good. But I can barely smell it on my hand, so that's definitely one you need to spray properly. So we'll come back to that in a full review. But it's not one I'm excited about, it's not one I'm particularly interested in. It's light, it's kind of started to go musky now, and all the elements are very just soft. It would be nice if something jumped out a little bit more and just made it a little bit more interesting. It's very hard to describe because it's just not much to talk about. It's kind of light and musky at the moment. So the next one is Piccadilly 69. So the notes for this one read bergamot, ginger, green leaves, cypriol, mate, petrol, cedarwood, dry amber and leather. So this is meant to smell like London in 1969. So you have petrol of, you know, the double-decker buses going down the street, the leather seats of the old-fashioned taxi cabs. It's kind of encapsulates, you know, a hippie era London. So I would have thought with the idea of that maybe patchouli, well, Jesus, that maybe patchouli would have been used, because hippies in the 60s used to wear a lot of patchouli, but it's not a note used in this. You definitely get the vibe of petrol or diesel or something very chemical like. It smells very harsh, chemical, sharp. It doesn't smell exactly like petrol, but I get what they were going for. I totally get the the chemical kind of sharp. I actually like the smell of petrol, believe it or not. When I go fill my car up, I think the smell of petrol is quite nice. But this is overly sharp and just very chemical-like, almost a little bit like it would give you a headache. It's hard to... See, the petrol note overtakes literally everything. So I'm not getting the bergamot or the ginger or... So to me, the top note is this petrol chemical vibe. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit of the sweetness from mandarin. Or should I say bergamot. It has a orangey kind of, you know... Again, this one seems to be falling flat just after a couple of seconds. The notes kind of are blending into a puddle and nothing is coming out as, like I say, you don't pick out this is this, this is that. It's a very just kind of one-dimensional, nothing's popping out. It doesn't particularly smell of something you can describe in words. Okay, going back to the cap, I actually pick up more of the ginger, and the bergamot comes through more. Oh, it's funny now, I'm not smelling the petrol note. This is interesting. I think this is going to change and do little tricks on your skin, and every time you smell it you might get something different. My first impression was chemical, sharp, petrol, fuel, overtaking everything. On my hand it just doesn't seem to smell much of anything. It's hard to describe, there's nothing much there. From going back to it a second time, I clearly got more of the ginger and the bergamot with less of the fuel. So I guess I'm going to have to review that and give, you know, explain how this, I think it's going to play tricks and change. But last one is Covent Garden. So the notes for Covent Garden read orange, lime and ginger, pink peppercorn, rose and pimento, with carrot, orris and musk. So it's interesting, you don't often see the note of carrot in perfume. To me it smells like geranium, but it's not listed. It's like a very dirty floral. Geranium to me is quite, I don't know what the word is. I don't know if indolic is probably the wrong word, but it's a very, to me, dirty smelling floral. This has that same kind of pungent, kind of almost floral that's kind of rotting a little bit. I really don't like that. I'm sorry. I don't know any way of putting that in a nice way. Hold on. Okay, I get a little bit more of the citrus when it's on the skin. Again, he obviously seems to like the note of lime. That definitely comes through, but it has this kind of floral feeling, although it doesn't seem to be listed in the notes. Peppercorns. Oh, there is a rose in there. It doesn't particularly smell of roses. The orris is not a strong note. It doesn't smell powdery or makeup or cosmetic. Man, these are really difficult. I mean, that particularly doesn't... Again, notes aren't jumping out. It doesn't... They kind of seem to plateau into this kind of mass that's just very soft. To me, this just smells... I mean, that dirty kind of floral smell is actually gone now, and it's just... In fact, the rose is coming through a bit more now. It's not one I would wear, or that I would be attracted to. Yeah, from the dabber, it's not nice. Again, it almost smells like a synthetic-y, chemically kind of smell, but with this kind of floral that reminds me a lot of kind of a pungent, dirty floral. There's a little bit of lime on the skin. It mellows out into just a very hard to describe, but floral kind of a scent. Okay, first impressions, I think this is definitely he must have a really unusual or specific taste, because these are not broad appealing fragrances at all. I would imagine he struggles to sell these, in all honesty. I don't think the market is going to be too crazy about buying those up. Maybe I'm wrong, but they feel very specific. So you might love them if it hits your taste, or you might not. I will get to review them fully, because I feel like they're going to play tricks and change, and they're not completely simple to explain. So yeah, we'll have to delve in deeper into those. Pricing wise, they are £95 for the 100ml bottle, and they also sell candles. So if you like scented candles, maybe these would work better as a candle form. Yeah, obviously not my taste, but they might be somebody else's taste. So, you know, that's subjective. I'll see you again in the next video. Sorry I can't be more helpful in this video. I'll see you again next time. Bye bye. If you've tried these, let me know. Leave your thoughts on them. Maybe you're more useful than I am. Take care, guys.